assessment. Establish the context and purpose of the assessment. The assessor should familiarize themselves with the qualification or units of competency to be assessed. Additionally, they must ensure the assessment site meets relevant occupational health and safety requirements. To facilitate a smooth assessment process, the assessor should confirm the availability of necessary resources, including as tools, materials, and equipment as outlined in the checklist provided in the assessor's guide.
Good day, everyone. May I request everyone to stand up for our prayer. In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Please take your seat. My name is Captain Jean M. Deola. I am accredited competency assessor for the Dismissing Institute. As a proof of my accreditation, I have hereby ID that proves my identity as competent assessor for this qualification. I have received the assessment package that consists of assessor's guide, competency assessor's script, candidate guide, and waiting sheets. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Ana Rosas, the TESDA representative, Ms. Alexa Napoles, our EC manager, and Ms. Crystal Duran, our processing officer. You don't have to worry about their presence. They are only here to observe and check if their conduct of the competency assessment is in accordance with the prescribed competency assessment methodology and procedures. I am the only one to grade your assessment. We will not assess you. Don't be afraid. Before we start, can you submit your admission slip and ID and sign the attendance sheet once I told your name? Ms. Dayola Kiana, and Ms. Meredith Leado. So I have here with me your accomplished applications from a self-assessment guide. This is an indication that you know and can perform all the units of competency enumerated in this qualification. I would like to welcome you all to our assessment center, the SLSU State University main campus. The purpose of this assessment is to determine the level of your competency. Maybe you are capable of performing a specific task, but only the basics. I cannot count you as a competent if you cannot do the specific task in prescribed level. Today, I am going to administer competency assessment for Dismissing Institute. It is the qualification level with basic, common, and core competencies. And for the core competencies, first, drop the cut pattern and casual apparel. Second, prepare and cut materials for casual apparel. Third, sew casual apparel. Fourth, apply finishing touches of casual apparel. For Dismissing Institute, you are expected to perform the task. Apply the drafting and cutting techniques for casual apparel. Second is prepare and cut the materials for casual apparel. Third is sew casual apparel following proper procedures. Fourth, apply finishing touches and casual apparel. The evidences will be collected using demonstration, observation with oral questioning. Third, rating. For your personal needs, the comfort room is located both ground floor and second floor of the SLSU, and if you want to eat your lunch, the canteen is located at the ground floor of the SLSU cafeteria, and if you have your own lunch, you can eat here at our assessment area. If you have difficulty reading or understanding the instructions, don't be afraid to ask me for help so that I can explain that to you. Or if you have having a hard time reading in English, I could translate that into your local day. Do and don'ts for this assessment. Once the assessment has started, you cannot go out unless you have a valid reason and approval from me as I am the assessor. And as the assessment has already started, you are not allowed to ask questions since I have given you enough time for that already. Rights and appeal system. If you have a compliance regarding the outcome of the assessment, you have the right to appeal. Your appeal should be in written form and must be submitted to TESDA provincial office by which assessor and assessment center are accredited. Once of national certificate or certificate of competency, you will be notified if your active Gmail account once the certificate is received. But you will be only notified as your Gmail account if the assessment center found you as a competent for the qualification that you are assigned. Bring it to the TESDA provincial office for sealing and authentication purpose. Bring with you a copy of the certificate that competency assessment result summary. For reassessment procedure, if you are found to be not yet competent, do not worry, you can be reassessed anytime for your convenience. In case the assessment is for qualification, you will undergo the whole assessment process. However, if you are found competent in case the assessment is full qualification, you will undergo the whole assessment process. However, if you are found competency in some unit of competency, you will only undergo. If you are failed second consecutive assessment, you will be taking refresh process. Personal health safety requirements. Please observe proper handling of dogs. Identify hazard risks. Third, evaluate hazard and risks. Fourth, control hazard and risks. Five is maintain OHS awareness. Confidentiality of assessment outcome. We observe strict confidentiality on the report and results of the assessment. The result will only be handed to the partner personnel and to the institutions where you conduct your assessment. The assessment package will be placed in the select and secure area. Do not share any true or information regarding the assessment to everyone. If you have no questions, I will now introduce to the specific instructions for the candidate. Administer the assessment. You now instruct candidate. Candidate number 1 will be Gayola Kiana to enter the assessment room. Candidate number 2 will Diana Regine to wait in waiting area.
Instructions that we need to follow in the assessment. We can use this as a guide while doing the assessment. Using the materials for submission, you are required to perform all the tasks safely and within reason. I will be observing you while you are preparing the task. After your demonstration, I will ask you some questions and your position. After the oral position, I will give you the talk about the always research questions for the client. In the paper's qualifications, if you are there, I will questions to be
demonstration, the assessor will conduct an oral questioning session to assess the candidate's knowledge. The candidate's responses will be graded according to the performance criteria. This process will be repeated for all candidates. The assessor will rate each candidate's performance in both the demonstration and oral questioning, recording their grades on the rating sheets. After completing the demonstration and oral questioning, a written test will be administered. The assessor will proctor the test to ensure its integrity.
For successfully finishing the competency assessment, Miss Deola, yes, how did you feel about the assessment? I'm very calm. I will now provide you with my feedback. Based on my observation and evaluation during the assessment, I can see that you come well prepared and demonstrate confidence in performing the required tasks. You are able to effectively carry out applying the finishing techniques of casual apparel in accordance with the prescribed procedures and standard requirements. I also observed that you are consistently applied proper hygiene, sanitation, and safety practices throughout the activity. Your techniques were appropriate and the outcome of your work met the expected quality standards. This indicates that you are competent in this qualification. Congratulations, Ms. Danila, for being competent. I'm here a copy of your sheet and cards. Please. You can get your national certificate from the assessment center by accomplish a letter of authorization, submit a photocopy of your valid ID with specimen signature, and pay the certificate free of 50 pesos. Ms. Liado, congratulations for finishing the assessment. How did you feel about the assessment? I'm okay. Okay, here is my feedback about your assessment. I can see that you were able to perform the tasks such as apply finishing techniques of casual apparel. However, I noticed that you were not confident while performing the procedures and there were some errors in the correct steps, especially in hygiene, sanitation, and proper handling of tools and equipment. I am sorry to tell you that you were not able to perform within the standard requirements of the qualification. You have to review, practice the activities related to the competency requirements of the qualifications further. You can only conduct the assessment when you feel confident enough that you have acquired the competency in this qualification. Don't worry, you will only be assessed on these parts of the activity that you were found not yet confident. Congratulations, Ms. Liado.
Record and report the result. The assessor shall record the assessment outcome, accomplish the competency assessment results summary, submit to the assessment center manager the assessment reports. The assessment center manager will give the documents to the processing officer to accomplish the registry of workers assessed and certified. After accomplishing the registry of workers assessed and certified, the processing officer will ask the assessor and assessment center manager to sign before passing it in together with the other documents to TESDA representative. The TESDA representative will then deliver the documents to the designated TESDA office.